Welcome to the Looney Lineup Podcast with your hosts, Colby Honey Badger Chawley and Mike the Wolf Young.
What's up, Loonatics, and welcome to episode 4 of the Looney Lineup Podcast. In today's episode, we are doing yet another mock draft, and as promised, we're going to be drafting Colby from the 1 as per the Instagram polls, and Mike from the 12. This is a full PPR draft.
We have actually decided we do not want any snakes in the grass to know our draft strategy. Therefore, we will be switching spots today. I will be drafting from the 12 spot. Mike will be drafting from the 1, as we have given already too much information to our potential competition. So too bad for you guys.
Yeah, and we noticed that all of the comments that wanted us to draft at these specific spots were people that were in our leagues where our draft spot was already in play. So we are not doing that this time. And yeah, so strap in. Here we go. We're going to go in for another mock draft. And like we said, we're not doing what you guys wanted. We're actually flipping it. So, Colby, I invited you.
I haven't done many from the 12 spot this year yet, so should be a fun one. I know I've been up kind of higher up in the draft spots as far as most of my mocks, so looking forward to actually putting together a good team here.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Mike's starting it off.
Yeah, I am starting us off this time. Draft starts in 18 seconds. Again, this is not our standard mock draft or standard draft clock. We are doing 10 minutes, so we can talk a little bit about each pick. For those of you that are new out there, the average is usually 1 minute and 30 per pick.
Any thoughts on kind of how you're going to be approaching this top of the draft as opposed to the last one? I think you're at 8 last time.
Yeah, last time I was at 8. Like I said last time, I've kind of been more comfortable in the middle, but I've been playing around with the ends just because I have my draft spot in 3 out of 4 of my drafts this year now. So I've been playing a little bit more with the ends. And I know everyone's it's as you said, or as you did, it's Saquon, Bijan, Jamar. Those seem to be the top most likely picks. Jamar's a really good pick in the full PPR format, just because you know he's going to be getting the ball. So you're going to be getting points like that. But I also know Bijan's been getting a lot of throwing receptions in training camp and preseason. So I am actually going with the Bijan Robinson strategy as my first overall pick. I'm a big fan of him. I think he can only go up. I think Jamar Chase is incredible. I think we've kind of seen his ceiling, though. I don't think that he's going to be a bigger producer than he has been in the past. He can definitely match it. I just think that's kind of where we're leveling out, and that's my own personal opinion. I think Bijan can only go up, so I'm going with Bijan Robinson as the first overall pick of this draft.
Yeah, I mean, Bijan was an absolute monster to finish the season last year. All signs pointing that this guy's going to be, at minimum 300 carries. And, I don't know how many receptions he had last year. I believe it was somewhere up in the 70s or 80s. If you're getting a few receptions a game like that, I mean, he's a breakout player as far as, his cut ability is amazing. So the guy gets an open space. He's a danger for sure.
He is a danger. So after Bijan, we had Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, and now Colby is on the clock, getting 2 back-to-back picks in the 12 spot.
Yeah, looking at it now, most backs are gone. I mean, really, if we look at the backs that are available right now, we have Achane, Genty, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown. For me, we are in a PPR format here. It does appear to me like this is going to be a Devon Achane pick, just to snag one of those running backs. I obviously get 2 back-to-back picks here. Looking at it right now, I mean, sometimes I've been going a lot with the RB strategy. Considering that AJ Brown is still available here too, there's a very, very, and Nico Collins is sitting here as well. I think actually what I'm going to be doing here is kind of the opposite of what I've done before with, heavy running backs. I'm going to be going with a Nico Collins pick here. Sky's the limit for this guy. Last year, he was such a good performer and obviously had, some health issues, but That guy is number one there unequivocally. I'm going to be taking Nico Collins here.
I think he looked good in
Um,
yesterday's preseason game too.
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, he's an absolute stud number one receiver. Tank Dell last year went out. Obviously, he's not going to be playing. More than likely, it looks like Tank Dell won't be playing this season. Stephon Diggs is now gone. It looks like this guy is going to be. He's going to get all. He's going to get all the whole lion's share there. So Nico Collins is the pick for me there at 12, and then now at the 13, my second, I'm going to be taking Devon Achane here. This guy is a PPR machine as well. There's a lot of people speculating that he's not going to get as much third down work this year. We'll see what happens, but he's a workhorse back and speed's there. He's got all the tools for fantasy success, so he's going to be my pick there at the 13.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think that's a good pick. Nico's an interesting one. Like, I do like him. Like I said, he did look good in preseason, but there's always the question of CJ Stroud. And like we said, we saw a little bit of a collapse in him last year. I think he's going to be better this year, so I think Nico Collins is a safe pick. And Achane, I like the pick. My only concern with Achane, though, is, again, he's very quarterback reliant in a weird sense of his ability as a running back. Last year, we saw very quickly, as soon as Tua went out, so did Achane's productivity. And then as soon as Tua came back, Achane came back, and he is Tua's one concussion away from who knows if he's strapping the helmet on again. So
yeah, no, very true actually. But Achane, for me, I think this is a make or break season for McDaniels in Miami. There's been a lot of turmoil there the last little bit, ups and downs. For a while, it looked like they had an offense that just couldn't be solved. But it appears that now teams have caught up to his what he's kind of doing down there. So I imagine that this year we're going to see McDaniels be doing things a little bit differently and utilizing his players as best he possibly can. Obviously, down year for Tyreek Hill last year, massive disappointment in fantasy. But let's say, Achane is going to be the number one guy there. They're going to have to do more than they did last year. I expect Miami to be better than they were last year for sure. There's no signs that Achane's going down in value, so I find him actually, if anything, a bit safe.
Yep.
So
fair enough. So now back to me. So after Colby's two picks, we had Henry, Ashton Jean T, Drake London, Brown, JSN, Garrett Wilson, Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown. First tight end off the board goes to team 3 with Brock Bowers, and then Ladd McConkey. Now we're back to me. And I've been kind of noticing this a little bit when I've been doing my mock drafts, is there's a lot of good players coming back on the swing for the first overall pick, which it usually happens, but it's like my determination of value. I think there's a lot of players here that I like. And so I'm going to be doing something here. I'm going to be loading up in running backs at the beginning here. And I think it's just a good place. I might be a little bit biased as the guy that I'm probably going to go for just because he's on the team that I cheer for. So it's always nice to have a little bit of extra cheer motivation when you're watching your team play. But the top 3 running backs kind of available, Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, and I think all 3 of them are good options. Kyron Williams is a little bit of a question mark to me, but I think he has this reputation of being a question mark and proving everyone wrong. So I don't see Kyron Williams as a bad pick. Bucky Irving, I think he's going to be great for Tampa. I think they're going to be high-producing offense. I'm just wondering if the receivers are going to steal a lot of the thunder for touchdown potential there. I know Jonathan Taylor has been working with some more pass receptions, and if anyone's been watching a little bit of the preseason, as much as I don't like Danny Dimes, he's been pretty accurate, and Richardson, his accuracy has been a lot better. So whatever's quarterback goes there, that's good things for the PPR. Plus, we all know that Jonathan Taylor does have the ability to just break and make points happen. So I'm going with Jonathan Taylor as my second pick. And then with that,
he's basically the last of the elite backs to go. So it's a good pick, good spot to get him there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then I'm thinking here, it's going to be a little bit similar to my last draft of the 8. I'm happy that he came to me here. I am going to be going, again, not my usual cup of tea, but with his point potential and his ability, I can't pass him up in my 3rd round, knowing that I have so many picks away for my next pick. So I'm going with Lamar Jackson. I'm going with my quarterback in the 3rd round. I'm getting 3 heavy hitters for my starting point of my team.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. Taylor, Bijan, and Lamar. So here come the quarterbacks. This looks like round three. It looks like this year, folks, that you're going to be seeing the first wave of quarterbacks happen. Following Mike, Allen goes right after him at the 302. Later in the round, the 308, Burrow, Daniels at 309. Now back to me. For me, I'm going to zig where people are zagging. Now, I won't be taking a quarterback here as much as I'd like Jalen Hurts. I am more on the side of getting Jalen Hurts if I had a Saquon or an AJ Brown or something like that. But looking at the board right now, guys available, there's Hurts, Marvin Harrison, Kamara, Terry McLaurin, Kenneth Walker the third. For me, I have two picks here, obviously. I see a lot of potential right now in Seattle. These guys have been great. I'm going to be taking Kenneth Walker here. I think that his ceiling has not been hit yet, and when he is healthy, he's extremely effective. So it looks like this offseason, everything, all signs are pointing this guy's super healthy, good to go. Obviously, new quarterback, but I mean, this is going to be a pretty safe pick in my opinion. So the second pick coming around here, I'm going to just do the 1-2-1-2 punch again here. So I'm going to be taking a wide receiver. From the looks of it here, the top option is either Marvin Harrison or Cortland Sutton. My kind of plan here is probably going to be to snag or at least try and get a piece of Bo Nix at some point. So if I can get that stack, excellent. I'll be taking Cortland Sutton here.
Makes sense. Yeah, Seattle's going to be an interesting one this year. So is Denver. I think Denver is going to be an incredible team to watch. I think they're going to be a high producing offense. I think they have the weapons there.
I agree.
So I don't see anything wrong with that. And like you said, Seattle's going to be fun to watch too. Kenneth Walker, he's proven that he's a good running back. He's good to have.
It certainly seems that a lot of these teams that hire these high-end coaches like Sean Payton, he's in year 3 now. It's a system that takes time. Now he's had a few drafts of him, actually influencing who's on the roster. This is a great year for Denver to make a big splash. I think we're going to be seeing them make a bit of a run. I think. I don't know. Again, like I mentioned in the last one, I don't think that they're quite Super Bowl contenders yet, but they're definitely a playoff team. So
yeah, I agree. All right, so following Colby's 2 picks, we had Alvin Kamara, Breece Hall, James Cook, Tet McMillan, Jalen Hurts, George Kittle, Terry McLaurin, Marvin Harrison, Rashee Rice, Mike Evans, and then back to me. And the 2 that I was hoping fell to me, of course, are gone, being Tet and Marvin. I wanted a piece of Marvin Harrison. I think he can only go up, as well as watching Tet and everything right now that's been happening. I think he's going to be the wide receiver 1 in Carolina, and I think he's going to be good. So.
Sure. I agree. And all the film we're seeing on this guy, he looks like an absolute freak out there. So I'm excited to see how good he is. I would have liked a piece of him as well, but it's just a safer pick right here on the 4th round for me to take Sutton there. But I would like a piece of this guy. If he would, for whatever reason, falls to me in the 5th round, he's an easy pick, but it's not going to happen. Obviously, he's already off the board. So
yeah, exactly. So that takes my plan was to go with the wide receiver in my next pick. At least one of my next picks, and I took DJ Moore in the last draft, and I do still like him, but I'm kind of more interested in their young guys more than DJ Moore, and that's why it's making me a little bit more hesitant. And as you guys saw last time, I took Odunze, and the new rookie that they have there as well. I just think that they have such a talented young roster that I don't know if DJ Moore is going to be getting pushed out, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go that route. However, what I think I'm going to do is stock up, and I think I'm going to go with the rookie Travion Henderson from New England as a 3rd running back here.
I'm not going to lie. I want him to come down to my end there.
Yeah, I think I have to. And when you're drafting from the 1 and the 12 spots, you have to reach for your players.
You do.
Because it's such a far distance until you get your players. So if you have someone, you just have to pull the trigger and then make your amends later.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being a trendsetter in the draft. Like if you you're taking a quarterback there early, you see as soon as you take a quarterback, people start going, okay, now here come the quarterbacks. Start seeing them fall off. Likewise goes with the tight ends always, but same thing. I mean, I agree with you. Like you gotta go out there and get them. But in that sense, it also gives you a bit of control,
exactly,
which I like. So,
Exactly. So, and then with my next pick here, because I have Lamar Jackson, I think my best move is to stack on Zay Flowers. He's
yeah.
still a little bit of a question mark for me, but the times that the ball's not in the air or not gone the ground, Zay Flowers is going to be getting it majority of the time. So on a PPR perspective, he's going to be receiving. I want those points. I want that stack.
We've most certainly not seen his ceiling yet, which is good to see as well. He's been on an upward trajectory since he's been drafted, so he's still super young. So
Yeah.
okay, so a bit of a running back flurry here. So James Conner, Chuba Hubbard, followed by Laporta, Worthy, Moore, Montgomery, Aaron Jones. Again, we talked about this last time. Dave Montgomery fell a little bit later in this draft. This is a little bit makes more sense where he should be going in the 5th, but at the 4th round, I think it was where he went last draft we did. That's way too early for Dave Montgomery.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf, Calvin Ridley, TJ Hawkins. Since we've seen a bit of the tight ends starting to go off now. So back to me now. I've got 2 picks here. We're seeing Devontae Smith, Waddle, Williams, Travis Hunter, Tony Pollard, RJ Harvey. I'm going to be going for a bit more of a balanced approach this draft. And I think what I'm going to be doing is taking a wide receiver and then taking a running back. As of right now, our squad looks like Nico Collins, Achan, Kenneth Walker, Cortland Sutton. So 2 of each. Right now, I think that because we've already had our number 1 receiver and got a number 2, Devontae Smith is a super safe pick. He's the top rated guy on the board right now. I think I'm going to be taking Devontae Smith with one of these picks. Very reliable, consistent player. Not too hard of a decision there for me. Next up, I can't really be risking Bo Nix getting by me here. It's going to be a Bo Nix pick for my next one here. Really, he looks like the next. Patrick Mahomes is the only other higher rated quarterback that's available right now. I mentioned earlier, I really want that stack with Sutton. It's going to be Bo Nix here for me.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. You don't want to lay him, as we just spoke about.
Just can't risk him getting by there.
Yeah, you're waiting however many picks to get that back. Like, that's just scary.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm normally a lot more running back heavy, but because I got the Cortland Sutton there, like, the strategy was that we have to have both of these guys. So there's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of a reach here. 7th round I believe Bo Nix went in the 7th round our last draft, which is like incredible value for him there. But you know what? I'd rather just go out and get him in and have that, need done now.
Yeah, exactly. And we're big believers over here, so that makes sense.
Big time.
Big time. Following Colby's 2 picks, we had Jalen Waddle, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, Jameson Williams, Baker Mayfield, Travis Hunter, and RJ Harvey. So a little bit of a mix, still pretty running back heavy here. And these are kind of where we're thinning through the weeds of what running backs are available. So I'm kind of happy that I have 3 to start me off already. So now back to me with back-to-back picks. I am going to be probably looking for another receiver to fill out my starting roster. It'd be my safest bet, I think. So top of the board here for players in the wide receiver category, we have George Pickens, Chris Olave, Jerry Jeudy, Stephon Diggs, Jacoby Myers, and Roma Dunze. I am playing this one with a little bit of faith in rookies this year. I've been kind of playing with that strategy a little bit in drafts, and it's either going to boom or bust for me in a lot of what's going on this year. So I am going to start with my first pick being Emeka Egbuka. Big fan of him.
Yep.
I think he looks good. I'm probably reaching for him, but it's just he has the potential to even take over that starting role in Tampa this year with his skill set. The 2 guys, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, that they have there, like, yes, Mike Evans is incredible, and I'm not talking any smack.
We love Mike Evans here
because he's incredible, but he is getting up there in age. So is Godwin. Emeka's young talent to mix in with the Baker Mayfield, I think it's just a chemistry that's going to work. So I'm going for Emeka Egbuka. And
Egbuka looks really promising.
Yeah. It was between him and Matthew Golden in that spot. I contemplated Roma Dunze, but I don't want to stack up too much. Actually, I thought I picked someone else in my last picks. Never mind. Roma Dunze would have been a good pick for me there. And to be honest, that might be what I do here. With my running back options here. Yeah, no.
Running backs available.
Going Roma Dunze.
Paul Pollard, Caleb Johnson, Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, so I think So that's your 2 picks there.
That's my 2 picks there. Getting my receiver room a little bit more flexibility. Now I have Zay Flowers, Emeka Ibuka, and Roma Dunze. I'm pretty happy with my starting core right now. In all,
Looks like you've done a very similar thing that I did in the last draft. Take early running backs and then you just go on a wide receiver tear. That's a great strategy to do. I like having, get your core settled down, and then you can just take an influx of receivers, and then all you need is 2 of them to be really good. So you've given yourself more options as far as getting a playable guy every week. So I like your picks. There's Zay Flowers and Buka and Dunze, all high ceiling guys. And I really like the Henderson pick. This is a guy that I'll be probably targeting in my drafts. He just seems so explosive, and every time he's touching the ball, it's just electric. So I want to see more of him, and I think he's going to be incredible. So back to me now. Players that have gone off the board following my Cooper Kupp, Fields, Pickens, Murray, Goff, Pollard, Olave, Judy, Samuel, Purdy. So seeing a bunch of quarterbacks going again here. There's 4 that have gone this round. I'm looking right now too. I've already got my quarterback taken care of. Guys that are available, they're looking at the board here: Diggs, Myers, Njoku, Evan Ingram, Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson. I'm going to be doing kind of something similar that you did there. I'm going to be taking a stab at Caleb Johnson. Right now, if he has to be a flex player, then he can be a flex player, maybe possibly. But I think, just taking a stab at least one of these rookies here, I really wanted one. So I got taking him off the board there. Caleb Johnson, I think by the end of the season, this guy's going to be the workhorse back. So next up, we got still kicking around here. There's some Tucker Kraft, Javonte Williams, Jordan Love, Jordan Mays, and Charbonnet. This is the one I think I'm going to be taking a reach, and I'll be taking Matthew Golden here. So sticking with my original strategy of going, one receiver, 1 running back per round, and that's kind of what we're going to be just doing. We're just stocking up the core here and getting some depth. Very excited to see that Matthew Golden will actually be, a bench player for me at the time. That's something that's going to be flourishing eventually. So even if I don't need to play him at the beginning, mid-season when this guy starts blowing up, it's going to be great to have him. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think those are good picks. Matthew Golden was one of the ones that would have been on my radar if he did come back. I think there's a lot of value in rookies this year. It's obviously a gamble every time you pick up a rookie. You don't know what's going to happen. But when you playing fantasy, everything's a gamble. You don't know, knock on wood, if your number one's going to get picked or get injured or anything along those lines. So without playing with the gamble, then you're not really playing fantasy. You have to take those shots, those stabs. As to when you take them,
you have to take chances.
That's what's going to happen. Okay,
so we're seeing some defenses coming off the board in the 8th round here.
Which is, I have not seen in many, if any.
I haven't seen this yet. I haven't seen this yet either.
So we got some weird
First one off
strategies.
the board is the Steelers, and then the Eagles right behind them.
So if this is getting simulated properly, we had a panic pick in Team 4, just like, oh my God, defenses are going. Philly's not a bad pick as a defense. In the 8th round, yeah, you're not seeing a defense come across my draft team anytime near the
Definitely
8th
would
round.
love to get a piece of the Eagles, but I am not using an 8th round pick to do that. There's so much talent still on the board right now.
Exactly. So I'm going to still stay away with that. We also had a little bit of a receiver draft or round 8 after Colby's Matthew Golden pick. Jordan Addison, Chris Godwin, Jacoby Myers, Stephon Diggs. Couple more running backs with Brian Robinson and Zach Charbonnet, Tyrone Tracy, and then Ricky Pearsall, and back to me for my 2 picks. So I have a good core. I have bench players already. I am happy with where I'm at right now. So I'm just kind of building my core positions that are going to get me points. And right now I have a lot of risk. And so I'm kind of hunting if I can find some stability or if I want to double down on the risk and have 2 guys that can potentially work out for me. So it's an interesting place to be in. I'm happy with it. So I'm looking at running back or wide receiver. I'm not picky in the spot that I'm in right now. Looking at my running backs, I'm kind of already know who I'm going to go here. Yeah, I think I have to go with Jordan Mason. As I kind of said last episode, I do see potential of him taking over that starting role. So I think that I cannot risk him leaving me again. So I'm going with Jordan Mason. And then looking at my receiver board, again, I'm looking for a little bit of stability. Khalil Shakir, day-to-day. Juwan Jennings, day-to-day. Josh Downs, well, I already have Taylor. I'm not fully trusting in my quarterbacks at Indianapolis right now. So Josh Downs and Michael Pittman kind of worry me a little bit. I need to see some proven facts and see something that's not preseason or training camp before I can commit to some of those players. Personally,
yeah, the Indianapolis receivers in general are kind of scaring me this season.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of potential. It's just that's where it's kind of stuck right now.
I definitely think your safest play on the Indianapolis is going to be that Tyler Warren kind of pick around there. As far as any of those players right now on the offense, we're going to be seeing a lot of checkdowns, especially if they're going to be trying to just keep Richardson or Danny Dimes under control. We're not going to be seeing many of these big bomb plays, maybe occasionally, but I think they're going to really try and tighten this kid up. So I think that the tight end position is going to be getting lots of receptions, lots of good check down formations we're going to see with this year. So
yeah, exactly. So like I said, I kind of have my core kind of set. I'm interested in the Shakir pick just because Buffalo's going to be high scoring. He's going to be.
I do believe he's number 1 on the depth chart as well.
Exactly. So I don't mind having him as just a little bit of stability in my rookie case that I have going right now. So I think I'm going with Khalil Shakir.
Okay.
Here. And then we're back to the
massive running back rush here.
Yeah.
We did receive news now as of August 17th. Last episode, we talked about Judkin's legal situation. It appears that there will be no charge pressed against this guy. This actually is something that I oversaw here. I should have been taking this guy in the last round. Judkins appears that he's going to be the number 1 guy there, and there's not going to be a court case. It's in a matter of time now for them to sign him. He's going to be playing all year, it looks like. So Judkins would have been a good pick here for me. I wish he would have slipped down. But it's kind of interesting looking at this too. It was Judkins at the 905 and then Ford at the 906 goes right after. So that's the 2 back to back there. I mean, I would way rather Judkins right now personally, but Josh Downs goes, J.K. Dobbins, Houston Texans. So looking at my team right now, we got Collins, Achane, Walker, Sutton, Smith, Bo Nix, Caleb Johnson, and Matthew Golden. So I've got some good upside in a lot of positions right now. Guys that are available. Njoku, Ingram, Prescott, Andrews, Herbert. So a bit of a tight end flurry that could possibly happen here. I'm expecting that after my pick, we're going to see a bunch of tight ends go out. It's going to be Njoku or Ingram. This is going to be this guy. These are coin flips for me. I think either one. I think I've already got 2 Denver players, so it's going to be Njoku. I think he's the last of this tier of tight ends. So Njoku for the pick for me there. I'd like to see Njoku have a great season this year, especially if we end up getting playing time from Shedeur Sanders. This guy's going to get in a lot of action. So now I got taken care of my tight end position. Next up here, I'm just going to take a look at my roster again quickly. Basically, right now, I think we're just looking at some depth here. I don't need to be taking a backup quite yet at quarterback. One thing I will kind of look here to do is, unfortunately, Charbonnet has gone off the board. Charbonnet would have been a nice pick here for me because he's a good handcuff for my Walker. And at the very least, Charbonnet will still be getting work, but most likely I'll be picking him for the handcuff. Jaden Reed's here, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Mooney. So we're going to see a big rush of tight ends and quarterbacks go here. These are going to be the last of the big boys. So for me, just to kind of get ahead of that, I think I'm going to be doing what I did in the last one as well. I'm going to be going with JJ McCarthy, just taking him for the star power. Again, he's not getting him here this late is pretty great. This guy's going to be a star. And, if for whatever reason Bo Nix doesn't pan out the way I imagine he will, I got McCarthy. And if these both guys come out flying, I'm going to trade one of them. So,
yeah, no, I respect both your picks. I think Njoku is a great pick, and like you said, that's really good reasoning. You don't want to overstack your team with players from the same team. One, that's bye week hell. 2, that is just you're getting all your star power from one team. If that team has a couple bad weeks, that can royally mess up your entire season. So having a couple players from one team, great strategy. Having more than that, now you're running into some issues. So.
It just becomes way too big of a risk, especially if there's off weeks these guys have. Like if you have a bad week, nobody's getting points. And then it's like all of a sudden a third, like 3 people out of your however many starting roster positions are just not scoring, right? So if the team gets shelled, you're likely going to lose that week just because you have 3 on one of them, right? So it's kind of, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Have some eggs in the basket together though, but
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen a couple more defense go off the board here. Houston went before Colby's pick. Baltimore went in
Hmm.
the round 10. So we had Ramondre Stevenson, Adam Thielen, Jaden Reed, Marquise Brown, Tyjae Spears. There goes the Baltimore defense. Michael Pickman, Najee Harris, Tank Bigsby, and Brandon Ayuk. And I was kind of hoping Bigsby fell to me. I think he's the number one going into there. It's definitely going to be a little bit of a split backfield. I think I said this last time, but I do see Bigsby being the number one running back there. So I was hoping
Yep.
he did fall to me. Um, but that is a-okay with me because now is around the time where I'm going to start looking at tight ends and looking at what options I have here. Evan Ingram's still there, and you know what? I might grab a little piece of that Evan Ingram action. I think he's a safe pick to
Yep.
have. I think Bonix, like we said, we're believers here, so I'm grabbing Evan Ingram as my tight end. I think he's going to be just kind of like I said last time. I'm looking for 10 to 15 points out of a tight end. That's my goal, and I think he's going to be able to do that for me, especially in a PPR league. Going back now, I have my second pick being the number one, and it's a little bit of an interesting situation going on right now. I don't know if I want a receiver or a running back here. Neither of them are a bad call. I'm just looking for value, and I'm looking for players that can kind of just help build my team and maybe be a sleeper in the season. So
Hmm.
I think
Yeah, we're really starting to see in round 11 here. It's really thinned out quite a bit. At this point is where you got to start making really, smart choices, and this is where you can take some like reaches. So
yeah, exactly. So for this one here, I'm not even going to go for a reach. I'm just going to go with a little bit more safety. And my safety is going to be Austin Eckler. I think he's still a phenomenal running back. I think that whether we figure out what's going on with Terry McLaurin, I don't know what's happened there, but I also don't know if Brian Robinson Jr. can handle the workload there. He hasn't really proven himself yet, whereas Austin Eckler is a great receiving back. So again, upside on PPR. And
much
if
more
you,
upside on the PPR leagues for sure.
yeah, so I think he's my kind of safest pick right now in this position.
Yep. No, very good pick. Like that's pretty good spot to get him. He's going to be on the field, and Washington's going to score points this year. So, yeah, I guess following your pick there, Rashad White goes, Prescott, Coleman, Braylon Allen, Tootin, Higgins, Mark Andrews, Denver Broncos defense. I was surprised the Denver Broncos went in this spot here. I mean, they're rated the number one defense, and they were the fifth defense taken off the board. So this guy, whoever this is, got a pretty good deal there for them. Mooney's gone. Trey Harris. For me, again, this is going to be a depth pick. I think Tyler Warren is a big star. So I've already gotten a tight end in Njoku, so I don't need to be relying on Warren as my starter, but it'd be great that if this guy emerges to have him. So I'm going to be taking Warren with one of these picks. Next up here, going down the list, other players available: Loveland, Bryce Young, Tillman. I'm surprised we haven't seen this massive quarterback rush yet. It looks like most teams on here actually have taken care of the quarterback position already. I think there's only, let me just going through them quickly here. There's only one team with no quarterback, and that'd be Team 9. Oh, never mind. They do have a quarterback. They have Jane Daniels. Every team has their quarterback, so it looks like we're going to be seeing a bit slower on quarterbacks moving forward here. A lot of buzz about this guy that I'm going to be taking next here, Trey Benson. It's technically on the depth chart number 2 right now, but there's a lot of people saying these guys are going to be splitting him and James Conner. This guy is super explosive, and it looks like they're going to end up splitting the field with Connor. Connor's been very safe the last couple years, very consistent, good player. He is getting up in age, though. We're going to be seeing a lot more split back there. I think Trey Benson's a good pick, so I'm going to be taking Trey Benson there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. They kind of said the same thing last year, so that's why Benson and Garendo, I'm pretty sure, is their third running back. They said all three of them were going to be splitting reps last year, and they didn't. So it's definitely something like with the round 12 pick. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
but
I believe Garendo's on San Francisco. Actually.
He's on. Yeah, he is. Okay, yeah, you're right.
He actually looks like he just went right after me after the list on the 1206. So.
Okay, well, I can't remember who their third is then, but when they had their third receiver there or third running back there, they said that they were going to do the same thing last year. It never really happened. I think as long as James Conner is healthy and playing well, I don't see him losing reps. If he starts to slip, though, then having Trey Benson is a great handcuff to have. So whether he's trade bait or something that you have on your team, I think all in all, not a bad pick for a 12th round pick.
Just pulling up the Cardinals depth chart just for food for thought for the listeners. James Conner number 1 on the chart. Trey Benson's number 2. Amari Demercado.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. And then DJ Dallas on the 4th spot. Haven't seen him in quite some time. I feel like, how old is this guy now? He's 26 years old. DJ Dallas. Where was he before? I feel like he was on a pretty, he had an opportunity somewhere and he didn't really produce. So
no, he didn't.
4th on the chart there for you. So
yeah,
so you get the 12-12 here. Yeah, exactly.
Back to me in the 12-12. So after Colby's 2 picks there, we had Rico Daddle, Jonnu Smith goes off, Ray Davis, Dylan Sampson, Isaac Rendo, Wandale Robinson, Keenan Allen, Jaden Blue, San Fran's defense, and then Tucker Kraft goes. So it's back to me. I have all my core positions filled. I am good. Right now it's just more depth. So I am going to be, again, probably just looking at running backs and wide receivers. I might take a backup quarterback, but with Lamar Jackson, I'm not too concerned about that position. So going in here, actually, let's take a peek at the quarterbacks quickly. You got Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Yeah, I might just take a little, because I have Bijan, I might go with Michael Penix here. For the odd chance that he does blow up. Why not? Having Lamar Jackson and Michael Penix, if Michael Penix blows up with the Bijan Robinson stack, I am not upset about that. So I'll go there.
Yeah, Penix is a good player there. I think, again, very similar to even how kind of Mahomes entered the league, sat for most of the year, had a few starts in his rookie season. And at the end of the season, that's kind of like what it looks like Penix is going to get. And now you get a full off season. So he's got a little bit of experience going into the season now, which is good to see. And a lot more chemistry built up with these guys. Penix could be a good play. He seems like he's settling into the NFL quite nicely.
Yeah, exactly. And then now going back to my second pick, I am between 2 players here, both of them rookies, both of them looking good. I think I'm going to go with the handcuff for one of my previous picks here with Odunze. I'm going to handcuff myself with Luther Burden III, just because we don't know which one of them is going to be Caleb's preference if Moore isn't the guy. So I'd like to have both of them. I'd like to see what happens, and then I'd like to use the waiver wire and see what I can do past that later on in the future. So Luther Burden's going to be my man.
Very nice, very nice.
And of course, the guy that I was looking at after was Marshawn Lloyd for Green Bay. I think that rookie looks good, but he is now off the board. So there goes my next pick. And it wouldn't have even happened anyways. I have 2 picks left, and we know I'm choosing a defense and a kicker.
Yeah. I mean, even for me right now, my next picks here, it's looking like I'll probably just take a defense and get this out of the way right now. Take a kicker and a defense, and I'll see who's kicking around. There's not really anyone on this board that's screaming pick me right now to me. It's mostly quarterbacks. I mean, Cedric Tillman, Rashad Bateman, Hunter Henry, Mims. I mean, again, Mims would be the easy pick if I didn't already have Sutton and Bo Nix, so I don't need to be taking Mix here. Jalen Wright's sitting there. He's actually maybe a decent play just as a good handcuff for me as well. That's actually what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be taking Jalen Wright. He's a good handcuff to have for my Achane pick. He's nice and safe. This guy, if anything happens to Achane, I mean, we're going to be Wright's immediate RB1 territory. So following that, I'm going to be taking a defense here. Minnesota Vikings, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City. It's going to be Minnesota Vikings pick for me here. Then I just got the defense solidified. Minnesota's going to have a dominant defense again this season. So that's pretty easy for me. Now swings back to you. The only things I need left is a kicker. So my last round pick will be a kicker, but swinging back to you first.
Yeah, 2 kickers off the board now. We got Jake Bates and Chris Boswell going.
Yep.
So back to me. I'm probably going to get ahead of actually, it doesn't really matter since I have back-to-back picks here. Doesn't matter what order I do it in. Just have to kind of choose who I like the best. I like Brandon Aubrey. I think he's a good guy to have. I think Dallas is going to be putting up points, but they're also going to be a little bit shy sometimes. So I think he's a good guy to have to get me those 3 to 5 points here and there. Some extra points from the kicker is a great thing.
Absolutely.
And then going to my defense, it's Buffalo, Detroit, and Seattle are kind of the top guys on the board. I do like Green Bay's defense. I think they proved themselves last year. I think they're going to be good again. Um, yeah, but I think I still have to go with Buffalo's defense here. I think they're a tried, true, and proven defense. I think they have a lot of weapons on both sides of the ball, and their offense is going to keep their defense off the field, and I think that's a huge thing. Buffalo's still going to be a good team all around, so when they're going to be using up a lot of that clock on offense, your defense, one for one, isn't going to be tired every time they step on that field, and two, it's just it's reliable. You know that they're going to be getting some stops when they need to, but they also don't have the whole entire weight of the game on their shoulders. So Buffalo Bills defense coming to me.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes in Buffalo too, when you get these really, really snowy games and stuff, when you get lower scoring, it does help the defense just because there's not many points being scored. Buffalo's a safe pick there. So, yeah, here come the kickers. There they go. Cameron Dicker, McLaughlin, Lutz, Fairbairn, McPherson, Elliott, Harrison, Butker. So, to me, for my last pick, yep, this is going to have to be, looks like we have Tyler Bass, Young Hoku, Sanders, this Cam Little guy. I'm going to be taking a stab at this boy. This is the guy who kicked the 70-yarder, isn't it?
Yeah, he has 70-yarder in preseason.
Guy kicks a 70-yarder. It's just like it's like hitting a hole in one on a mulligan. It doesn't count, unfortunately, but that's the longest field goal ever made. If they let this guy do that in preseason, they're going to be letting this guy sling it. So he's going to get a lot of chances at 50, 60-yarders here. It's Cam Little. Take a stab at him. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we have finished our draft. This is the draft people have been waiting for, except for we did it our way, so too bad for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we have the fun part of the draft analysis. Colby gets a big C, and I get a B+. Colby, want to go over your team and tell me what you thought about your grade?
Down in the 12 spot, went for a much more balanced approach. I don't have as many home run hitters as I maybe would have liked, but I mean, what I do have is incredibly consistent, reliable players down the whole chart. So starting off, I got Nick's at quarterback. I mean, we've been buzzing about this guy all off season. This is just the guy that I think he's gonna break out this season. So yeah, Bo Nix. I got Achan. Very happy with the Achan pick. Kenneth Walker, also super safe, reliable. When these guys are healthy, they're dangerous as hell. So Nico Collins, another extremely safe pick. Cortland Sutton with the stack on Bo Nix. Njoku here, Njoku's about as safe of a tight end play as you can get. So happy to have Njoku there. But again, on the bench there, I got Tyler Warren. So Tyler Warren's my home run swing. Happy to have him there. Devontae Smith, an extremely reliable flex player. And he's on my boy, the Eagles. You got to have a piece of the birds. So got a piece of the birds there. Minnesota Vikings defense, Cam Little, Caleb Johnson. This is probably one of my bigger home run swings. Caleb Johnson, Matthew Golden. Two rookies here that are lots of hype right now. Even if one of these guys turn out to be decent, it's a good play for me. So overall, happy with the team. C+ rating. C for Colby, as always. So let's go. Yeah, no, pretty happy with the team overall.
Perfect. Yeah, and your balanced approach worked. You have stability in your team, which is a nice thing to have. And you have some home run swings. So it's not that...
I got enough home run swings that keep me interested here.
Yeah.
But overall, this is a very, very... I went with a bit of a safer strategy at the 12 spot here. Again, that top of the top is a bit... you get a bit more chances, I think, at getting a couple, bigger swings.
Exactly. So. All right, so for me, I ended up with a B+. Again, I give no interest into what rankings I get.
0.
I prefer to have a bad ranking because I usually do better those seasons. So starting off with my team, I got starting from top to bottom here, I got Lamar Jackson as my quarterback here. Very happy with that. I think he's a weapon in all ways. He's going to be good with the run, good with the throw. He's an experienced veteran quarterback. In my opinion, I think he should have been the MVP last year. I get why he wasn't, but I do think he should have been. Got Bijan Robinson. I got Jonathan Taylor. I got Zay Flowers. That's a good combo to have with Lamar Jackson. I got Roma.
It's a great combo. That's a great stack to get this year. If people targeting a good stack, Jackson and Flowers is a great pick.
Yeah, I got Roma Dunze as well as his handcuff. With Luther Burden. The only one I'm missing out of the stack is DJ Moore. I did a similar thing last draft where I did DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. I kind of like this one better. I like this stack better just because, like I said, DJ Moore is getting a little bit up there in age. And with the young team that they have, I just think that they might be a little bit more focused on using DJ Moore as a coach rather than a player. And that's something to just keep in mind. Then I have Evan Ingram as my tight end. Travion Henderson is my flex position, and I am very excited about this. I kind of took a little bit of a different...
That's one I wanted to get, and you stole him from me, so congrats on that.
I took a little bit more of the home run approach this year. So I have a few core players that I know are going to get me points. And then I have some guys that could get me a lot of points. We don't know what even their mid-grade, let alone ceiling looks like. So Trayvon Henderson, I have Buffalo Bills as my defense and Brandon Aubrey as my kicker. And then I have a little bit of safety in Khalil Shakir. And then the rest of my things, again, are more or less home runs, except for Eckler being another safe pick. But Emeka Egbuka, Jordan Mason, Luther Burden III, Michael Penix Jr., all of these guys have potential this year. I'm very excited. If this was a keeper league, I have some options potentially for next year. I have a lot of guys that are going to be getting the passes, getting those PPR points that I want from them, as well as guys that are just going to be producing on a regular week-to-week basis. So I could not be, actually, this is probably the happiest I've come out of a number one draft spot this season. So if only it was the real thing. It isn't, but this is more or less for people to see what we have to say. And if you hate it, feel free to let us know in the comments. If you love it, do the same. We're here just because we love football. We're not claiming we're the best at what we do, but we love what we do.
Well, I am claiming I'm the best at what I do, so here I am.
But Colby does that a lot, and then it gets proven wrong. But
some people call me. I say I'm too humble sometimes. I mean, I don't know what you think about that, Mike. But
humble's not usually a word that's in my description to you. But hey, we're here.
Yeah, so be it. But yeah, honestly, for me, I can't say it's the happiest I've been with the draft yet. There's a couple things with this 12 spot that I really I just prefer being higher up this year. So overall, I'm happy with the team. But one that I really wanted to get a piece of was Trayvon Henderson, but you stole him from me here. I just think this guy's ADP is going to start flying up. If you're going to want this guy, you're going to have to reach. This looks incredibly explosive. The guy looks like he's been in the league for 10 years already, and he's just like flying out there. So if you want a piece of Trayvon Henderson, you got to do what Mike did and just take him a bit early.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, when you're at those outer spots, you have to pick the players you want because you're more than likely not going to get them when they come back.
We're just seeing such a good running back rookie class this season that I think you want to at least try and get a piece of some of these guys because of whether there's 6 or 7 like legit names out there for rookie running backs. One if not 3 of these guys are going to be superstars.
Exactly.
And if you can get them at a discount this year, especially if this is a keeper league draft for you, like get them in the 5th, 6th rounder like that. These guys, a bunch of these guys are going to be 1st, 2nd round picks next year.
Exactly. All right, Colby. Well, looks like we got through what we needed to get through today. Another great episode.
Yeah, great episode.
Perfect. We will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks to you who are tuning in.
Yep.
All right. Catch you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.